Hundreds of miles of footprints. One night. No animal could do this. Neither could humans. In the 1850s, England was changing fast. Steam engines, factories, railways. People believed in science, in progress, in the future. But deep in the countryside, old fears never truly disappeared. People still went to church every Sunday. They still whispered about things that lived in the dark. They still believed in God and in the devil. Devon was that kind of place. A quiet county in the south of England. Green hills, small villages, narrow roads. The kind of place where everybody knew their neighbors and where strange news traveled fast. On the night of February 8th, 1855, snow began to fall across Devon, soft, silent, covering everything in white. By morning, the fields were still, the roads were empty. It looked, people would later say, like the world had been made new. But it hadn't. The morning of February 9th. Across Devon, people opened their doors and stepped outside. Cold air, fresh snow, a perfect winter morning. And then they looked down. Footprints. A single line of tracks, moving through the snow. Not two lines, like an animal walking on four legs. One line, always forward, never turning. Each print is about 8 inches apart, every single one. The shape was strange. Small, like a hoof, but like no hoof anyone had ever seen. Too small for a horse, too neat for a goat. Pressed deep into the snow, one after another. No one could agree on exactly what they saw, only that it was like nothing they knew. People called their neighbors called their neighbors. And slowly, as the morning went on, something became clear. The tracks didn't belong to just one village. They were in the next village too, and the one after that. Towns and villages across South Devon, all connected by the same single line of prints, stretching, in total, for over 100 miles. One night, one set of tracks, 100 miles. Nobody had heard a thing. People began to follow the tracks, and the further they followed, the more frightened they became. The prints moved through an open field, normal, expected, but then they reached a wall, a solid brick wall. And on the other side, the tracks continued, same direction, same spacing, same depth, as if the wall simply did not exist. Someone checked the top of the wall. No marks, no scratches. Whatever had made these tracks had not climbed over. It had gone through. Further down the path, the tracks reached the river. The River X, 2 miles of deep, freezing water. No bridge, no boat. On the other side of the river, the tracks continued. Same direction, same spacing, same depth. 2 miles of open water, and not a single break in the trail. Then came the detail that silenced every conversation in every village in Devon. Someone found a drainpipe, a narrow metal tube built into the wall of a house designed to carry rainwater down from the roof. This one was 4 inches wide, the width of a human hand. The tracks led directly into the opening of the pipe. and came out the other side. 4 inches. Whatever this was, it had no shape, or it could change its shape, or it did not have a body at all. By nightfall, the churches of Devon were full. People knelt and prayed. Mothers kept their children inside. Doors were locked. Curtains were drawn. The local newspaper printed 3 words on its front page that said everything the people of Devon were already thinking. The devil walked here. So what really happened that night? At the time, people suggested everything. A kangaroo that escaped from a private menagerie. A hot air balloon dragging its ropes. A badger, a shy nocturnal animal that sleeps underground and only comes out at night to feed. None of them could explain 100 miles in one night. 170 years later, scientists have looked at the evidence again, and most of them agree. The footprints were probably real, but the story, as it traveled from village to village, grew. The most accepted theory today is simple. A small animal, most likely a wood mouse, common across the English countryside, or a dormouse, a tiny creature famous for sleeping through the entire winter. Both hop in a way that leaves a single line of round prints in the snow. Prints that, to a frightened eye, can look like a hoof. The wall? A second set of tracks on the other side. The river? A different trail, misconnected in the panic. The drainpipe? Almost certainly added later, a good story, but no proof. Fear, it turns out, is a very powerful editor. And like any editor, it cuts what does not fit and keeps only what makes the story more frightening. It takes 10 strange things and turns them into one impossible thing. But here's what science cannot fully explain. 100 miles, 30 villages, one night. That part, nobody has ever satisfactorily answered. Not in a way that is complete enough, convincing enough, to make the question disappear. Today, the devil's footprints remain unsolved. And on that freezing night in 1855, something walked across Devon, and it did not care about the laws of physics. Thank you for listening to B1 English Mysteries. If this episode kept you up at night, good. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next shadow.